welcome back, everybody, to the Birdies and Bourbon Show. Well, here we are. Mr. Kyle Peters joins the show today. I hope you're doing well, sir. So before we get into this, you got a nickname, and it's Peppers. And are we calling you Kyle, or are we calling you Peppers for the rest of the show?
Let's go with Peppers. Whatever you guys are comfortable with. Nice. But yeah, the story behind that, my name's Kyle Peters, and it just comes from a drunk college night. Somebody called me the wrong last name, and that was it. So.
Oh, perfect. That's the perfect way to start.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're not done yet, so that could happen by the end of this show. So you never know. Never know. All right, man. So let's peel it back. Let's get to know you. Let's get to know Peppers a little bit. So currently you're on the bag for Corey Connors. Is that right?
No, I'm actually with Mark Hubbard now. Corey and I split this winter time. We were together for about 3.5 years, and he decided it was time for a change, and I picked up Mark Hubbard. So yeah.
Oh well, shit. I've got to brush up on my. I'm already failing at this thing, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing for a living.
No worries. Yeah, no worries.
So what's it like in a transition? So going from moving from a golfer, and you've been on several bags over your career.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, hey, I'm a caddy and I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing and I'm good at my trade and it's kind of natural and flowing, or is there like some nuances there that you got to kind of get lubed up for?
It's more 90% who you know and about 10% what you know. As soon as I start to look for another job or something, I just get on the phone with all the agents and players, caddies, everybody I know, and just let them know that I'm available. And hopefully someone's looking. When this change happened, thankfully it was right in the middle of wintertime where there's a lot of player caddy changes happening. So thankfully there was, a group of guys that was looking, and Mark and I seemed to be a good fit for each other, and we got linked up. He was kind of in the same situation as I was. It wasn't like planned or anything. It just happened where he was looking for a caddy and I was looking for a player at right about the same time. So that's how we got linked up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah. That's, and are you in Charleston, or you live in Charleston?
I live in Charleston. Right now I'm out in LA. I'm at Riviera this week for the Genesis Invitational. Perfect. Yeah.
Hey, you don't have to rub it in.
Yeah.
And you've been on the bag at Riviera a few times, right?
I have. Yep.
Yeah. Is that a place that you look for? I'm sure you look forward to visiting everywhere you get to go to, but is Riviera, so just coming off of Pebble and then, moving south down to Riviera, is that kind of like a gem that you're like, man, I can't wait to get there? Or
after let's just say we're always playing in February and we're playing Pebble the week before. Yes, I can't wait to get here, but just because of the weather, because up at Pebble, it seems like every February is just brutal there. So I look forward to getting down here where it's about 70 degrees instead of 50 and rainy and windy. It's nice to see some sunshine when I get here. Nice. And it does there are a few holes on the golf course that I really like. There's, one that I don't really like, but yeah, it's a nice place. I look forward to coming here.
No, perfect.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I'm going to get this one out of the way. I've been dying to ask the question to somebody that's out there under the strap, right, moving through the motions. So we're going to get Rangefinders at the PGA? So
yeah,
at Kiawah?
All PGA events. Yep.
So what's your take on Rangefinders?
It doesn't bother me at all. Honestly, I like it when a player hits his ball offline and you're way far away from the middle of the fairway. It saves some time then getting a number, and your number is going to be more accurate too. So I don't mind it. People are kind of like, it doesn't speed up the pace of play. It does speed up the pace of play. My opinion, if anything, it speeds up a little bit just for that reason, just for the offline shots where you're off the fairway. In the past, like I've caddied on the web.com tour when they had their trial run with it.
Yeah.
And I would get to the ball, I laser the pin, and then do the math instead of finding a sprinkler head, walking it off, and then doing the math. So I think it speeds it up a little bit, not a whole lot. And I like it just for the accuracy. Yeah.
Because you've got probably the other side, and it's not about mentioning names, but you've got fast players and slow players and people that might overthink things right on the golf course, right? And granted, I mean, it's a job, right? I mean, you're there to make a living and get a paycheck. So understood as to the whys. But then if you're looking at maybe players or caddies that they might be overcritical or overly critical kind of in their approach, does that make it even a longer process for them? Because, well, now I'm going to shoot it. Now I'm going to walk it off, and I'm kind of, bouncing between the two.
Yeah. I'd say like what you said, if you get guys that are doing both of them, then it's going to take a little bit longer. But I don't think there's that many. There might be a few guys that are doing that, but with the laser, I think it just makes things a little bit easier. And I'm not worried about us caddies losing our jobs over it. Somebody still has to carry the bag. The only way that would happen is if they told players they could use a push cart or carts or something. And
yeah, that ain't.
I don't see that ever happening. So I'm not too concerned about it.
Not in our lifetime, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I saw you were sipping on a White Claw. What flavor did you go for tonight?
I've got black cherry. That's my go-to these days.
Black
Nice.
cherry.
But,
and are you a White Claw guy, or you kind of venture around on some different brands?
I'm a White Claw guy. And I lied. My actual go-to is the sugar-free. If I can find those, they're tough to find. But I want to say there's 70 calories, no carbs, something like that. And then the sugar-free thing, I look on my Whoop at my recovery statistics. When I drink the normal White Claws, let's say I drink 6 before I go to bed, my recovery is like 30%. But if I drink the sugar-frees, 6 of those right before bed, it's like 90%. So
wow. And by the way, he inflated that just for the show purposes. He never has 6 before he goes to bed.
Never.
yeah.
Very cool.
So you
go ahead.
Yeah,
Cal.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I was gonna ask about the Mark. So what was the first tournament you guys played together? It was like
Sony Open was our first one. So we're in week 5. I think.
Okay, so it is a really recent change. Okay, all right. So you were there though for the putter, for
the snail putt.
The snail putt, yes.
Yeah, that was our second week together, and I had kind of seen him like in the practice round step up to 1 or 2 and do that. But kind of the story behind it is we were going to miss the cut by 3 or 4 shots. We weren't even close to the cut line. The guys that we were playing with, they were both off the cut line. And it's one of those things where we were walking down the fairway, just, not too concerned about what was going on, just having a good time with the other guys. And then we get up to the green and he pulled that out. It surprised me. I wasn't sure what was going on for a second, but it was pretty funny and good for him because he got a lot of exposure out of that. And, people know his name now. You'd rather it be for winning a golf tournament, but it's good that people know his name a little bit more now.
Oh yeah. He got it everywhere. He's all over the place.
The phones start ringing. The phones start ringing when that happens, right? TV time's a good thing. So
nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you mentioned, Pebble and the weather's usually pretty shitty, right? Well, you've got hit on days, right? I mean, it's not every day. It's California, right? So you got kind of today might be decent, tomorrow might not be decent. So do you have any preferences on West Coast or East Coast golf?
I guess it depends on the time of year. I really wish that they would switch the Florida swing and the West Coast swing.
Yeah.
Just because if you get Florida in January and February, the weather's going to be perfect there.
Yeah.
And then I would say if you flip over to the West Coast in March, the weather's going to be pretty good over here in March. But yeah, I mean, it all just depends on the time of the year. Pebble Beach, at the U.S. Open in June or July, is going to be perfect.
Mhm.
You know, you're not going to get the rain and the wind and all that, or you'll get the wind, but not the rain and the cold.
Right.
But yeah, it just depends on the time of year, I think.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then, so what about you on course, man? Do you have any, do you got any nuances out there? I mean, are there things that Peppers does on the course that's unique to you and kind of how you manage the guy? I mean, we chatted a little about rangefinders, but I don't want to get hung up on that. But is there, you've been out there since 2010 again, right, Peppers? And is there, do you have a routine? And if you do, how'd you get to that routine, or who was your mentor kind of growing through the caddy ranks, if you will?
I would say as far as a routine goes, now it's like I do have a routine as far as getting to a tournament, trying to get out there as soon as I can and see the golf course early in the week. It also depends on if it's a course that my player's seen or hasn't seen, or if I have or haven't seen. It's important to get some targets off the tees, figure out lines that you're going at and things like that. And once we get into tournament time, let's say if we have we'll go late afternoon tee time on Thursday and an early time Friday on Thursday morning. I'll try to get out and watch some balls bounce and things like that. It's nice if they have PGA Tour Live on and I can just watch from my bed. And then same thing on the weekend. Hopefully you're playing well, you're late Saturday and Sunday, and I can get out and watch a little bit in the mornings there. And then Sunday night, it's just on to the next one. And same exact thing, get out early, see the golf course. So I do that's kind of like my routine on the golf course. Off the golf course, if my player's playing well, I like to eat the same meal every night. So that's just a superstition. The week we won at the Texas Open a couple years ago, I think Wednesday night I went out to a basketball game and I had hot dogs at the basketball game. And I want to say we shot, I can't remember off the top of my head, 3 or 4 under
right.
Thursday morning or afternoon, whatever it was. And so that night I was like, you know what, I'm going to get hot dogs again. And then we go out the next day, shoot a few under. So then I get to the golf course and they're serving hot dogs for lunch. And I'm like, yep, that's it. And then Sunday they had moved the times up due to weather. And I think we were supposed to tee off at like 11. So, our warm-up starting about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the caddy tent and I'm looking at the food lady. I'm like, I need a hot dog. You got to find me a hot dog somewhere. And she got it for me and it was awesome. I had a hot dog at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And
nice.
we won. And then that got us into the Masters. And the next week I ate a hot dog every day there too. So that's just a little superstition I have off the golf course.
Perfect. Yeah, sure. Hey, so you mentioned the Valero win, and congratulations on that, by the way. But don't you guys do, or they used to? I don't know if they still do, but they do a race from the tee box. Don't they do it at Valero, or they did?
I know for sure at Waste Management.
I know in Phoenix, yeah, or Scottsdale.
And I could see it on number 16 at Valero. I haven't done it.
Okay. Right.
They probably about 5 years ago, they kind of told the caddies to stop on the caddy races. Somebody fell and, broke a club or something. And then the tour's all worried about the caddies and stuff like that. So,
okay, but hold on. So we're there. I don't know if you'll answer or not, but who wins the race at the Valero that year? If it happens, you or Connors?
Corey.
Faster.
Oh, wow. All right. So now
I got a bag on my shoulder. He's beat me every time.
All right. So fast forwarding, we're on Hubbard's bag. Who's winning? You or Hubbard?
Hubbs is going to win too.
Still? Okay. All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned some sports. You checked out a basketball game while you were there, and I was being kind of snoopy, and I noticed Robert Morris University in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So we've got and you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, right?
I am. Yeah. All the Pittsburgh teams.
Yeah, we got Kevin Kramer. He's second baseman for the Pirates, is coming on to do a tasting with us. I think.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, in a week or so. So we'll have to send that over to you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big baseball guy. I think I've been now, thanks to Texas building that new stadium, I got to take a step back. I've seen 25 out of the 30 stadiums.
Oh, nice.
So I've got that new Texas stadium, Miami, Colorado, San Diego, and Arizona. Those are the 5 I've got left. But at all the different games I go to, I started this about a year and a half ago. I'll find the memorabilia store, like the game used things. And I'll get something from each stadium. So I've got second base from Comerica.
Oh, yeah, sweet, man.
I've got some bats. I've got a helmet from the Mets Stadium, Bartolo Colon's helmet, actually. But one of the things I'm looking for is a rosin bag. So if he could help me out with that, that'd be nice.
That is on our to-do list with him. I hope he doesn't hang up when I bring that up. I'll tell him who it's for. Hopefully the hate mail comes to you, not to me.
Yeah, I think I actually saw it at PNC Park. I think I saw a rosin bag, and it was like $50, but I saw a pair of cleats. So I went with the pair of cleats, and I was like, I'll get a rosin bag the next stadium I go to. And then the next stadium I went to was out in San Francisco. And I'm like, do you guys have a rosin bag? And they're like, no one's ever asked for that. And then, Yankee Stadium, I tried to find one, couldn't find one there either.
Nowhere.
It's weird. It's hit or miss on things you can and can't find at different ballparks.
All you could find was a file from Necro, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold on. So when you go into all these stadiums, are you eating special food? Do you have you eaten hot dogs at all of them? What's going on?
I always like to take a lap around and just see what everybody's got. And in Pittsburgh, they've got Nakama, a sushi place and hibachi place there
in the stadium,
which is pretty sweet. And then like obviously out in Seattle, you can find some seafood stuff out there. But yeah, every ballpark's different. I like exploring and seeing what I can find.
Very cool. Very cool.
Have you been to you've been to the new Atlanta Stadium? I take it.
I have. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little pissed off about that one. So I live like a 10-minute walk from Turner Field, which is it's not Turner Field anymore. It's the Georgia State Panthers, whatever, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, literally like you load a cooler up and you just walk over and have a few beers on the way over and you're right there. Here we go. And then they move the damn thing, now it's like,
it's kind of out in the middle of, in the middle of nowhere, but
it's in a nice place, but I'm just saying compared to where it was, it's like, boy, well, you made this inconvenient as hell for me to get to. So,
right. It's far. Yeah.
So I don't get to take in as many baseball games as I used to. So, and you
got the All-Star game this year, don't you?
Well, if it happens, I mean,
hopefully, yeah.
I don't know, maybe without fans and stuff. Oh, speaking of, let's see so the Waste Management. So you had fans there, ish, right? I mean, more than we've had since the whole shutdown in March, right?
Yeah.
So did it feel different? Did it look different? Was it,
as far as did it feel different compared to the tournaments without fans?
Yeah,
it did. It was awesome, to have that kind of buzz in the air. As far as compared to another Waste Management year, it was
not even close.
Weird. Yeah, it was weird getting inside the 16th hole. It's like it wasn't that loud in there. Like, even with, however many fans they allowed in there, if it was 3,000 fans, you thought it would be way louder, but it was pretty calm in there.
That place is big though, man. I mean, like, and if you haven't been to TPC Scottsdale, I mean, that is, and I've been to quite a few golf, not as many as you have, but I've been to a few golf tours. I feel like TPC, for whatever reason, is just like a big, massive place, man. I feel like there's a lot of acreage there to cover.
Yeah, definitely there is. Last year I actually threw a guy out there on the 7th hole. You would think it would be somewhere totally different. It's the only time I've tossed a guy, but
well, hold on. Whoa, what do you mean you tossed a guy?
I threw him out of the tournament.
He was heckling.
Yeah. You'd think the trouble you get is on like 16, 17, 18, but there's actually an exit on the opposite side of the golf course. Like, I guess somewhere off of like 3 or 4, somewhere out there. Yeah. So like you get all these drunk fans that are going that way at the end of the day, and they don't realize the guys are still finishing on 7, 8, 9. So you get people kind of wandering all over the place. But this guy, we were on like 6th green, and the guys were, hitting their shots, and I hear a guy say, "Jackass." Oh. And so I immediately kind of, that sixth sense in me, kind of, who was it? And I find the guy, and we get up to the 7th tee. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like shaking my head, like, don't do it. Don't do it. And right at the top of Corey's backswing, he's like, "Jackass." And I was like, "Hey buddy, red shirt." Yeah. And there's a cop that walks normally with every group there. This year they didn't have it with every group, but then the cop went right under and grabbed him and gave him the boot. So yeah, you can. That's a crazy tournament. That's for sure.
Wow. Well, so I think the reason that it doesn't happen at 16 is because those are professional drinkers, and you were dealing with the amateurs over there, right? So.
Yeah. This was a young college guy. I don't even know if he was 21.
Yeah, which is a shame, and I think that's what people lose a lot of. I don't think people grasp the fact that you and your player, like, you're in your office, right? You're here at work, and it's, does one tournament or one day or one shot make or break you? Well, I mean, I don't know. You heard Burgers say the other, that's the best putt I've ever hit in my life. So I right. In the moment, but I mean, I think that's the thing. A lot of maybe the kind of the common or amateur fans, and if you've had a little too much to drink, you got to appreciate the fact that, hey, we're able to come and watch, and we were actually recording another show earlier, and the guy was like, and he's relatively new to golf, but he was talking about a new golf. He'd gone to a tournament, and his first one, I think, was like early last year ish. And maybe I got that wrong, but he was like, I'm surprised. And I'm going somewhere with this, trust me, but I'm surprised at how close and the interaction that you actually have with the athletes that are playing, right? I mean, you hit the ball a little too far right or a little too far left. Well, hey, move back, everybody. I'm coming in between you because I got to hit my ball, kind of thing, so. Yeah,
definitely. And it's, of course, that you can get really close is Harbour Town. It's so tight there in Hilton Head. It's so narrow that, you could hit it on the right edge of the fairway, and the ropes are like right there. So it's, you get some tournaments where you're right there, and you can hear the conversations, that players and caddies are having and everything. So yeah, you can get really close to the action. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I was cheating a little. I was checking out the Caddy network, and I saw that your favorite course to play is the Kiawah Ocean course. Does that still hold true?
No.
All right.
No. This is embarrassing to say it, but I got a laugh out of it. So the weekend before the Masters, the PGA's there this year. So I had a buddy fly in, and we wanted to go out there and check it out from the tips. We wanted to see the lines off the tees and everything. So we went and played back there, and my index is a 1. And my buddy's, he's a scratch or better. He was Dale Vallely. He caddies for Abe Answer. And he was at one point the best junior golfer in all of Canada. So he's no hack by any means. And so we went out there, we played the tips, and it was howling, blowing 20 to 30. And I made like a 6 or 7 footer on the last hole to shoot 97. and he shot, I think he shot 91 or 92.
Holy shit.
So, that was when I wrote down the Ocean course, that was before that day. Now I'd probably have to say Oakmont. I caddied at Oakmont for a little bit. So I've had some rounds in out there. I love it out there.
So what do you think? What's the ocean course going to hold for the PGA this year? Because it has since been lengthened, I believe, since they played in 90, whatever it was.
Yeah, I think if they tip it all the way out on every tee box, it can go back to like 7,800 yards. The PGA of America won't do that, though. I'd say they'll probably be playing it between 73 and 7,500. But the whole thing out there is if you get the winds, the majority of the holes, the times that I've played it, the wind comes off the water and it's just all crosswinds. So
yeah. Well, you're going to get it. It's just how extreme are you going to get it? And is it going to be consistent throughout multiple days, or is it you're going to have some breaks, right?
Right. Exactly. And it's fairly common there. It's totally exposed. You're right on the water. There's no trees or anything. So you're definitely going to get it. But yeah, I mean, I would say right now, if you're on an average week, if it's blowing 10 to 20 every day, I would say right now, I would guess the winning score would be like 4 or 5 under par. So I'm interested to see where that ends up at.
It's going to be really crazy, right? Because I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen a golf tournament winner not be like mid-teens or higher.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And it's not like out there's really rough either. It's just, the whole thing is just the wind. That's that golf course's defense. But obviously for the US Open, I'd say for the most part, the British Open, you're never in the teens at the British Open, but unless it's calm. But like US Open and the PGA, they have a score in mind that they want it to be. And I guarantee you the PGA doesn't want it to be in the teens. They probably want it under par, I would say.
Single digits, right? Yeah.
Yeah, single digits. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. So I want to go with, I mentioned something earlier. You mentioned something. So you're a NASCAR fan?
Not really.
No. All right. So you don't want to be on a NASCAR pit crew, or you wouldn't be on a NASCAR pit crew.
Okay. Yeah. Was that in my caddy bio?
Yeah, I was cheating again. So I want to know if you're giving us the real story or if we're going to get the real story.
Yeah, I think there was a question on there. What would my job be if I wasn't a caddy? And at the time, I had ran into a guy that told me about this school in Charlotte that you could go to be in a pit crew. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool. If I wasn't a caddy, that'd be cool. Carry the tires out or something.
Right. So how'd you know you were going to go down the caddy road? I mean, because you played in college, and when did you decide? I mean, was it right out of college? You said, I'm going to go find a bag.
Yeah, I actually started in college. It was the week my 19th birthday was the first professional tournament I ever caddied. Through junior golf, I had some friends that had played in some LPGA events, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool. How do I come out and caddy? And they're like, oh, just come out and we'll set you up. So the summer after my freshman year, I just drove down to Mobile, Alabama, and one of the girls that I had talked with Monday qualified and got in, and I caddied for her. And that was my first week. I think my first week we were paired with Michelle Wee and Natalie Golbus on the weekend.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
that's intimidating.
For a 19-year-old, that was pretty cool. But yeah, so while I was in college, I just stuck with it kind of on this, during the summertime, that's what I would do. And then, getting to my senior year, I realized,
Uh-oh.
Hey, we lost you, man. You got earplugs in or?
Me?
Yeah, we got you now. Yeah.
Back now.
Okay.
Junior, senior year?
Yeah, I realized I wasn't going to be able to play professionally. And then I had the whole caddy gig in my back pocket and, I kind of thought about maybe doing some coaching, some college golf coaching, but in the end, I just stuck with the caddying thing. So
better fit for you. Yeah.
Very cool.
It equally, I don't know if fulfilling or satisfying, but I mean, you're kind of getting your golf fix in and
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, growing up, I always dreamed of being on the PGA Tour and, being at the Masters on Sunday.
Hold on, you are.
Exactly. So it's awesome. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else, that's for sure.
So I haven't played Augusta, and I haven't been other than just I don't know, I've been several times. But so you're talking about as a kid, here's my dream, here's where I want to be, and here's what I want to happen. Was it because you had in your mind's eye, you had a vision of what Augusta was going to be, right? You've caddied. Mm-hmm. I think you guys were like top 10.
Yeah, top 10
last year. Yeah, top 10.
Is that your best finish?
Yeah.
At Augusta, yep.
Okay. Cool.
So in your mind's eye, but that wasn't your first trip to Augusta, right?
That was my second. I've been 2 times, and yeah.
So
Cool.
So your first trip there, when you show up, it's like, okay, well, I'm envisioning it. Does it even compare to what it actually was once you got there?
Well, the way that we got there was like, it was like a dream. It was unbelievable because we won the week before.
You won the Valera. Yeah, exactly.
And it was like, I had no idea it was coming. We Monday qualified there. We weren't even going to be playing that week. So
I mean, Bill Murray was chirping in your ear, wasn't he? Cinderella story.
Like a week before Augusta, it wasn't even a thought because we weren't even in the tournament. So we Monday qualified and get in, and then kind of going into the weekend, the thought is creeping into my head. And then Saturday night before I'm going to bed, I'm like, man, if we win, I'm going to Augusta. And still, we had a crazy, crazy day. I think we birdied 4 of the first 5 holes or something. Wow. And then we made 4 bogeys in a row. And then on the back 9, we shot 30. Wow. And it happened so fast. And even coming to the last hole, I think we had a 2 or 3 shot lead, and we're in the middle of the fairway. And I'm like, we still got to hit the green. We got a 2 putt, and then it'll be there. And that was the first thing I said to Corey when he tapped it in was, I'll see you at Augusta tomorrow. So
awesome. That's got to be just an amazing feeling, man.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then Sunday night we flew over to Augusta, drank every beer in the house, and I woke up Monday morning. I was like, I can't believe we're here. So it was pretty cool. And they didn't have my credentials ready for me. So I got to the caddy entrance there. I had about 30 minutes before they made my credentials to sit there and wait. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea where I was in relation to the golf course or anything. The guy walked me in the back door into the caddy area. I put my jumper on, and he walked me out the back door onto the range, and it was like heaven on earth. It was awesome. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's my those are my memories for my first trip to Augusta.
And then a top 10 for your second trip is pretty dang good, I'll tell you.
That was awesome. Yeah. That was really cool. We had a great round Sunday. We birdied, I think, 2 of the last 3 or 4 holes coming in. And I knew that a top 12 would get him back there. So to have the finish like we did was really awesome. That was really cool to have a Sunday like that and get him back there this April.
Very cool.
Yeah, did you notice any difference in November versus that? I mean, fans aside, I'm just saying, just the actual month or time of year. Like, did you notice like a huge difference November versus April?
Yes, it was awesome to be there, but Augusta in November is not the same as April.
Needs to be played in April, you think?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And 100%. not from a tradition standpoint. I'm just saying from the actual course itself, conditions, et cetera.
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah, exactly. It just wasn't the same. Around the greens, it was a little bit shaggier.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a bare spot or anything, but the greens weren't like they are in April. It was awesome that they pulled it off, but April is 100% when it needs to be held for sure.
There's a reason that it's in April.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the other thing that was really cool was in November, you get the different colors in the trees. So there's a lot of photos from this year that you could look through that you're probably never going to see again, because it's always going to be in April. But that was one of the cool things, was the different colors in the trees and having it in the fall compared to the spring.
Yeah. Hey, I want to back up for a minute. So you mentioned your time on the LPGA, or you referenced that you kind of you were on the LPGA Tour caddying. Is there a huge difference kind of from the LPGA? And I don't mean difference, that may not be a fair way to put it, but the caddying on the LPGA Tour versus the PGA Tour. I mean, same. I'm still carrying the bag and I'm a caddy, or is there anything that's
I would say on the LPGA, there's more of a kind of a mental support role that you play. On the golf course and off the golf course, you're giving boyfriend advice, on the golf course. Mark and Corey, they're guys that I never have to pump up. I never have to calm them down, anything like that.
Yeah.
On the girls tour, I think there's more of that, more times where you kind of have to tell a girl, just take a second and breathe here. Everything's going to be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So I'd say on the girls tour, there's more of a support role. And the guys, there's no pep talks. There's no pumping them up, calming them down, things like that. Sometimes there are, but not as much as the girls tour.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Cool. What do we miss, Dan? What don't we know about Mr. Peppers yet?
Well, the one thing I did want to ask is we talked about Augusta, and I don't want to harp on this too much. So if you want to do a quick answer, that's fine. But how different was RBC last year? And they played a little bit later.
RBC, the
Heritage. Yeah.
The Heritage. Okay. I wasn't sure if you were Canadian Open or Heritage.
Yeah, Heritage.
Let's see. They played it in June. It wasn't, I don't remember it being too different.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't have.
No, it's fine. I didn't know if historically it's pretty windy there too. I didn't know if it was, not a different time of year, if it would, the wind wasn't as high or anything like that kind of thing.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember it being any more or less windy. I think the conditions were really similar. I think we played it like the third week of June compared to the third or fourth week of April.
So the week after Augusta, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Typically.
It was, I think it was about a month and a half difference. And I think the golf course played really similar.
Okay. All right, cool. Big deal.
Yeah. Are there any courses that you haven't been to let me maybe restate this. So you've been on several bags, and I know we got to let you go, but we don't want to keep you all night.
No worries.
But you've been on several bags. Oh, popped another top. All right. Well, we got at least one. We got one White Claw in us. So you've been on several bags, and I don't know how folks set their schedule up. I'm sure there's some sponsor stuff. I'm sure there's, hey, I play really well here, and or the field looks like this over there. Like I'm going to target some of these dates. Are there any courses that you haven't been on the bag for that you're like, man, I want my guy to go play there?
Mainly it would be over in Europe, the British Opens. I've only done one British Open. That was at Portrush, I guess in 2019.
Yeah.
Obviously any British Open is awesome, but I still haven't been to St. Andrews. So that's one place that's on my bucket list.
Hold on. This is a PGA Tour caddy that has not made it to St. Andrews yet. I don't feel so bad about myself right now.
St. Andrews, Carnoustie, that's another one. You hear the stories about how brutal it is there. I would love to get there in person and see that one. Another course, not that the PGA Tour plays, but Cypress Point. That's at the top of my bucket list. I've, being there at Pebble Beach for the tour event, I go down 17-mile drive every year and drive right through the middle of, Cypress Point's clubhouse and the range and everything. And, they've got I think the 16th tee is the par 3, but there's a huge sign there that says no trespassing. Prosecutors will be, whatever.
It's not going to work out very well for you. Yeah.
So I don't even want to try walking onto that tee box, but yeah, that's another course that's at the top of my list.
What, have you met Clint Eastwood?
I have not. Nope.
Damn it.
I've met Noonan though. Danny Noonan.
Okay. So, well, he owes us a response back because he's supposed to. He should have been on the show like 2 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he did he do the was it the Open? It was the U.S. Open he caddied for, right?
Yep.
That's where I met him. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay, well, so I we were trading some messages. So Noonan, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. But Noonan, he's like, but hey, give me some time. Hit me at the first of the year. I'm getting blown up right now with all the press and stuff. And I'm like, hey, no big deal. We're not pushy. Well, maybe a little pushy, but we're not stalkers yet.
He does some paintings. Did you know that?
No.
I was in one of the shops at Pebble last week, and there was a painting that he, I guess, painted or a drawing or sketch, whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a tip for you. Maybe just tell him, hey, come on the show. We'll buy some of your paintings or something.
Well, he can come on the show and he can talk about his paintings, and we can promote people buying his paintings.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So is home still Charleston for you?
It is. Yeah. My family moved there when I was about 5 years old. And so I've been there most of my life. I left, to go to school, to college, and that's pretty much it. I always went back home to Charleston. So
are you from Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania originally? Is that why you wound up there?
I'm from Charleston. I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We lived there for 4 or 5 years. We moved to Charleston when I was 5 years old. And when I was looking at where to play in college, like my top 2 choices were Charleston Southern or Robert Morris. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something different. And I went up to Robert Morris University. They had a good sports management program. So I went up there and ended up going back home to Charleston. The weather's a lot better there.
Yeah.
Good decision though, going to heading up to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I loved it. I had a great time up there. The winter time sucked, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it a lot. Made a lot of good friends up there, and still talk to my coaches from up there and my teammates a lot. So yeah, I had a great time up there.
Very cool. Have you ran into Bill Murray in Charleston?
I have one time when I was in college. I ran into him at the Charleston River Dogs, the minor league team.
Cool.
Doesn't he own part of? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. And I saw a picture of him last week. He played in the Wednesday Pro-Am, and he was wearing a Charleston River Dogs hat. And look what I've got right here.
Oh,
go Dogs!
Oh man!
And I saw him warming up on the range for 20 minutes, but it was early in the morning. I wasn't really paying attention a whole lot, and I saw a photo of him later in the day, and he was wearing a Charleston River Dogs hat. And I was like, man, that would have been great if I had either been wearing mine or B, just told him nice hat. I know who the River Dogs are. I go to them all the time. But
very cool. That's cool.
So question. So mentioning the hat. So so players typically are sponsored, right? And you've got certain things you have to wear. So are caddies, and it could be different. I don't know what the answer is, but are you free to wear whatever you want to wear, or is that different based on the relationship?
Yeah, we can wear whatever we want. I run everything by whoever I'm caddying for. I run it by. I'm just, I don't want to.
Yeah, not a conflict kind of thing, right?
Let's say, MGM is a big sponsor of guys, and I don't know if my player has any sort of, moral thing against gambling or whatever. I run it by him and say, hey, is it okay if I wear this or whatever? I don't have a deal with them, but that's just an example. I run it by. Whatever logo I wear, I run it past them. Yeah.
So why don't caddies have a sponsor? Because I mean, and I get it from the standpoint of, because both of you all are athletes, right? I mean, exactly. and you're, I understand why you may not have as much airtime or FaceTime with the camera, but pretty much every time you're getting, you got shots, you got visuals, you got things that are happening. And maybe there are sponsors, we're just not aware of them. But why do you think that's not a bigger thing?
Yeah, so the big sponsor for the Caddies is Valspar.
Okay.
Yep.
You will notice if you watch.
And no
close,
pun intended.
Yeah, if you watch closely, you'll see a lot of caddies wearing the Valspar hat, and they're great. They treat us really well, and I will wear the Valspar hat. Another sponsor for us is King. You'll see that a lot of the caddies are carrying the King towel. Mm-hmm. So we do have a couple deals. And just on another side note about the hat deals, like the nice thing about Valspar is it's week to week. So if like we played in Minnesota a couple of years ago, and there was a local bank that wanted to do something, and they go to the APTC, is the Association of Professional Tour Caddies. They go to the APTC, and the APTC kind of lines them up with us, and they help us out with deals and things like that. So the Valspar isn't a yearly contract. It's kind of like week to week. And sometimes we do get, a local business or something that wants to, not buy a whole sign sponsorship and pay, I don't know what that cost is on the PGA Tour, $20,000 or something. Instead, they can just go to a caddy and, pay him $500 or $1,000 for the week. Or
you
something.
Get hot dogs every night this week.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just
dinner and booze every night. I'd be okay with that, maybe. But, we get a few different things. I did have one of the craziest deals I had. There's a dog training company in Charleston, Canine Control Training, and I got a black lab this past summer. And I just from going to the minor league sports in Charleston, I know they sponsor the hockey team, and I play with some of these guys, and they're like, yeah, they do a thing where, we run their ads for them, and then they just train our dog, any of the players' dogs or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So my mind got running. So I got a hold of this guy, and I was like, hey, I'll wear your hat for 3 or 4 weeks. Can you train my dog? And he did it. So
perfect.
Yeah, the barter system is real, man.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different little deals you can find. Yeah.
What kind of, so speaking of, and I don't, you're down in the lowland country. I mean, that bird hunting is prominent down there. So I've got a little Boykin Spaniel that I'm trying to get trained. I'm not looking for a free ride here, but do they do, is it obedience training, or is it like anything in particular?
Yeah, it's obedience training.
Okay. Yeah.
The main thing.
Yeah, I got you.
Sit, stay, heel, go to your place.
How'd they do?
They did great. The second part of it is when the dog comes home to you, you got to keep training him, and I didn't do very well with that.
Do you ever feel like you have to be so kind of just focused and regimented on the course that in your free time or your life, you're kind of like, I'm done being that regimented. I need to just kind of relax a little bit.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is my 6th week in a row. So next week is an off week for me, and I can't wait to just go home and just do absolutely nothing. Just sit on my couch, and that's it.
Zero plans, and whatever the hell I decide to do that day or that moment in time, I'm just going to do it.
I'm going to go home and I'm going to play PlayStation, watch Netflix, and sit on my couch and do nothing.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to be crazy just with golfers in general. And I haven't worked in the level that you have, right, with a professional golfer, that because it's all routine, right? I mean, it's routine. And it's the same thing I know there's some mixing it up when you're but generally speaking, it's like, we're going down this path and that's the path we stay on. It's got to be a breath of fresh air to kind of be able to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Who's some of your favorite guys to play with when you're paired up?
We've been paired with Jason Day, Roy McIlroy, and both of those guys are really easy to be around. And they're really nice too. I like hanging out with them. But then also some of the caddies too. I love getting paired with my buddies. Like if we were to get paired with Abe Answers, caddy Dale is hilarious.
Can we get Dale on the show? Just he didn't have to come on. Tell Dale to come on the damn show and let's talk about hot dogs.
He's tough. I went on his cousin's podcast and he hasn't even been on that yet. So he's a tough guy to get. But I'll tell you the top 3 caddies as far as the funniest guys on tour. I think number 3 is probably Dale. Number 2 is Aaron Fleener. Have you guys tried to get a hold of him?
No.
He's with JT Poston, and he's got some of the best one-liners. He's hilarious.
Oh.
And then Gino Bonali, who caddies for Joel Damon. Those guys, they're hilarious. Cool. You might have a little luck with Gino. I'm not sure. He might come on.
Yeah. So is being a caddy, is it everything that Cal and I think it is in terms of like one of the best jobs ever?
It's a job.
Okay.
You know, I mean, after so long, you're just like, man, I can't wait to get home. You know, there's times where you're on, you know, like I'm on the 16th hole at Pebble Beach, and I'm like, God, I can't wait to get in my hotel room and go to bed. You know, but yeah,
you're not on a golf trip with your buddies, you know, hamming it up. You're working, right?
Right. So. But on the other side of things, I do my best to never take it for granted. I enjoy every minute of it. It's an awesome job. And I don't want to be doing anything else. I can see myself doing it until retirement. I love it. So
like when you had the COVID break last year, could you just like not wait to get back out there?
That was really weird because that was the longest time that I've spent at home since I was like in college. So it was really, really weird, but yeah, I was itching to get out there. The first week we had back, we played at Colonial, in Fort Worth, and it was awesome just to get out there. Even if we had played there and missed the cut, I was still super, super happy just to be back out there and see all the guys. Cause there's you know, that sense of camaraderie with all these guys. They're like your brothers, they're like family too. So it's just really nice to get out there and see everybody and be around them.
Perfect.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, bud, we don't want to keep you too long. I do have a couple of quick questions for you. So what's in your bag when you're playing golf?
White Claws. Let's see. Any of my whoever I'm caddying for, whatever ball they play.
Okay.
And I do have my ball marker is always an Augusta National ball marker.
Oh, nice.
And, now you're bragging again. You're bragging again.
That is a nice little brag there. And I've got my tee collection is from all the different tournaments. I've got all the different tournaments. So,
very cool. Yeah.
All right. So when you're traveling around, you're going to all these different golf. You're going to these cities and golf courses, etc. Is there a favorite restaurant that you hit in a city? And you don't have to limit it to one, but I mean, if there's something that sticks out, like I can't wait to get back to Doral because I go to this restaurant or eat here. It's in San Diego and we eat here.
Well, you guys teed me up for this one. If you're ever in Charleston, you got to go to Mint. It's not a restaurant; it's a bar.
Okay. We were going to ask that too. Yeah.
That's my spot in Charleston. I'm buddies with the owner there, and he's a big golf guy. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, Mint's a good spot. You can get a wide variety of people there. But it's a good time there. They've got a nice outdoor back patio. I like it there. Pittsburgh is Nakama, like I was telling you guys.
Yeah.
The sushi bar restaurant there. Anytime I'm out at the Sony Open or out in Hawaii, I just love getting the sushi out there. My favorite tour event that I've been to as far as food was last year, the Zozo out in Japan. I found a sushi bar there. I don't remember the name of it, but it was awesome. I went there every night. So yeah. And there is at the Tournament of Champions, gosh, I can't remember the name of the place in Maui.
It's got to be a poke bowl, right?
There's a sushi restaurant at the resort, at the Kapalua Resort, that you have to make reservations like a month in advance to get in there. But that place is awesome too. So.
Nice.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, the one and only Kyle Peters, AKA Peppers.
Yes, sir.
It has been a pleasure. What didn't we find? Where can people find you? How do they, if they want to know more about Peppers, where do they find you at?
I would say probably Instagram. It's Kyle_Peppers with a Z. And then the same thing on Twitter. I don't tweet a whole lot. So, Instagram's probably the way to follow me.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's been an awesome time chatting with you. Dan, what else you got for him?
I'm good, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, and thank you for the samples and the T-shirt again. That's you guys got a cool logo, that's for sure.
All
Yeah,
right,
we're
cool.
working on it, man. So we appreciate you coming on, and we'll say good luck this weekend at the Genesis,
Absolutely.
my
Good luck,
friend.
buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.